What's happening, my good people? Once again, it's your chill brother from another mister, all about my biz, still out here handling my biz so I can take care of my future kids. Y'all already know what time it is. It's time for another episode of the Champions Sounds with yours truly, Kyle Turner, man. Listen, I appreciate y'all continued support of the Champions. I need you guys, as always, to like, comment, and share, and make sure we continue to reach and exceed what we want to right here on the Champions Sound. Well, listen, we're going to make sure we give you that barbershop talk, but make sure you leave with that Champions walk. Yo, it's February. It's that time of the month and the time of the year where, you know, we pay homage to those that paved the way for us. And that is kind of part of what we're going to talk about in the championship speech of the week, which is talking about See the Floor. Y'all stay tuned for that. We're going to have that in the championship speech. You already know we're going to get you mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and psychologically prepared to be fearless, focused, and ferocious to get you where you need to overachieve and overexceed the expectations that you have and the goals that you have for this week to come, all right? So listen, man, HBCU Nation in the house, DSU, you thought you knew, all right? Alumni right here. Listen, we're going to talk about that and some more with it being Black History Month. We're going to have a lot of different content within the show within the next couple of weeks as well. So y'all stay tuned for that. Again, like, comment, and share, as will be on Spotify, Anchor, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. The YouTube channel is Kyle Turner right now until we transition into the Champions Lounge, which will be the primary source for where you'll find exclusive content each and every solitary week with your boy, Kyle Turner. All right, so listen, enough of the fluff, y'all. Let's get into the stuff. Let's get right into the opening tip, baby. All right, yo. So listen, family. The opening tip, we're going to get things popping. We're going to get things going with the opening tip around the NBA. Y'all know how we get down and how we get busy. Y'all know the drill by now, right? So listen, let's get things started and let's get things happening. It's a trade deadline season in the National Basketball Association. Yo, we've had some bombshells already, like the Woj bombs. I got the Turner bombs right here for you in regards to what's been going on around the NBA with the trade deadline. Yo, some different trades, they've just been blowing my mind in regards to what different teams are doing in the NBA right now. So let's get things going first, right? So we had a trade the other day in regards to the Portland Trailblazers. It looks like they're blowing it up. All right, they traded Covington and Norman Powell to the Clippers for Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, and a second-round pick, right? Then they dropped another bombshell. They got rid of CJ McCollum. They got him up out of here, finally breaking up the duo of McCollum and Lillard, where McCollum, Larry Nance Jr. find their way to New Orleans for Josh Hart, Nikhil Alexander Walker, and Tomas Satoransky, and a future second-round pick. Yo, then the Sacramento Kings pull off a trade with the Indiana Pacers. They get Domantas Sabonis to Sacktown for Halliburton, Hield, and Tristan Thompson. Jeremy Lamb and Justin Holiday are also part of that deal as well. The bad part about it is, the Kings get rid of Halliburton after a couple of weeks ago. My man was like, I want to be a part of the solution to bring hope back to the Kings. And then they got my young boy up out of here. That's so Sacramento to do. How you this kid just put out there like, I'm willing to help us get back on the good foot. And they said, nah, thanks, but no thanks. So Sacramento to do. Just don't understand that. Then we just found out that Joe Ingles is finding his way to Portland for Alexander Walker and a couple other guys in a second-round pick, mostly because Joe Ingles is an expiring contract. We definitely want him to get well soon with him tearing the ACL He's going to have a uncertain future, especially with him playing on an expiring contract. He's not going to play for Portland at all this season. So it's going to be interesting to see where he ends up going this all season. I wouldn't be surprised if Utah found a way to bring him back home because, it just would feel weird if Joe Ingles was on another team other than Utah. It just fits so harmoniously that they should be together. All right. Let me tell you something. These trades signal one thing to me, that for Portland, they're going to find a way to eventually trade Damian Lillard. They put out the whole notion that, we're going to build around Dame and different things like that. But listen, to me, the writing's on the wall. Damian Lillard will find his way out of Portland this offseason. He's going to see that this team is not going to be fully constructed to really work with him. I know they're going to try to use their draft picks that they got from the trades with New Orleans and the Clippers to try to bring in some pieces in the offseason, maybe a superstar to come to Portland. But, it just ain't going to work out, man. I got to give a maybe a B+ to the Clippers for making the trade for Covington and Norman Powell because, when you get Kawhi Leonard and Paul George back, this Clippers team with Covington and Powell, Covington's an expiring contract. Powell's going to be there for a minute unless they decide to trade him in a separate deal. You got Norman Powell, you got Terrence Mann, you got Luke Kennard. You got some guys off your bench, young guys as well, that you're trying to work into the fold. The Clippers, they're trying to make some sneaky moves here. For New Orleans, bringing in McCollum to pair up with Brandon Ingram and whenever Zion Williams finally gets back. But right now, New Orleans is in the play-in if the season stopped today. Between New Orleans and Portland, they made a trade where both teams are jockeying for position to be in the play-in game. Now, I don't know where this is going to go with both teams. It's going to be interesting to see what happens and transpires if these teams go down to the wire and, one game, half a game separate the teams from actually making it to the playoffs. So we'll see what happens with that. For Sacramento, they're trying to make a run to get to the playoffs. They had the longest drought in the NBA right now with 15 years and counting without having a playoff appearance. Bringing in Sabonis, to pair with De'Aaron Fox, that's a good 1-2 combo. You got the pick and roll with Sabonis, who's a monster on the glass, can hit the mid-range jumper as well. This is him, Sabonis, and also Rashawn Holmes. That's going to be a nice little combo for Sacramento to help them in the glass department on the defensive glass and the offensive glass, and also having two bigs that can pick and roll with De'Aaron Fox as well. Bringing in Jeremy Lamb, who's a knockdown shooter. Justin Holiday, he can be interchangeable with the forward or guard position. Sacramento made a good trade, made a good deal as well. In this Halliburton, Hield, and Thompson going to Indiana, that's a nice pickup for Indiana because, listen, Halliburton's going to be your point guard of the future. Brogdon's still there. You still got T.J. Warren whenever he gets back. You pretty much signal that you're going to keep Miles Turner there in Indiana as well. So, the Pacers making a deal to try to shed some salary cap and then also get younger and get better. Bringing in Hield. You got Buddy. You got Lance Stevenson. It's going to be a good time in Indy. I mean, seriously, you're going to have the air guitar playing with Lance Stevenson, and then you're going to have Hield knocking down the money ball as well. You got Durante as well, the young boy out of Oregon. Let me tell you something. For Indiana, this is a move for the future, not a move for the present. This team is not going anywhere. They're probably not going to make the playoffs. Sacramento, they're trying to make a move for right now. So we'll see what happens with how these trades go out and play out moving forward for all the teams combined within the trade deadline. Leave your comments in the show notes. Like, comment, and share it. And leave your comments in the show notes in regards to what teams made the best trades and what teams, they really got you not really sure where they're going with that. So we'll be sure to answer your questions and leave your comments in the show notes in regards to what teams made out good with the trade deadline this season. this trade deadline season. Still got time between now and Thursday when the trade deadline is final. So we'll see what happens between now and then. We're going to shift gears to the East Coast. We're going to go to Brooklyn right now. And Brooklyn, it might be time to cut the nets. And we're not talking about March Madness, even though March is right around the corner. But the Brooklyn Nets, they're in disarray right now. 9-game losing streak and counting right now for a team that was heavily favored to make it to the NBA Finals. They're sitting at 8th place in the Eastern Conference right now. Both them and the Lakers were the supposed easy track to the finals and everything like that. Both teams are barely probably going to find a way to make it to the playoffs unless they make a huge run after the All-Star break. Brooklyn, they can't play defense at all. Harden's hurt off and on. So much different rumors swirling around right now that he might find his way up out of Brooklyn. And then you got Kevin Durant still out right now, nursing an injury. Nursing his injury to his MCL at the moment. So, we got to see how this thing transpires with Brooklyn right now. We got to see if they actually pull the trigger on trading James Harden. Because, honestly, a lot of us don't feel like he's going to resign in the summer. He ain't feeling this whole Kyrie playing part-time type deal. He's like, if I'm getting paid to be here all the time, Kyrie should be able to do the same thing. And it really shouldn't be no issue. And I ain't mad at him. I'm like, if I come here to win a championship and the guys that I'm thinking I'm going to play with, one guy's like, I'll be here sometimes. And it's just you and your other dude, your other guy that you're running with, that you've been with before. And you guys are like, we doing full-time work. My man doing part-time work. What's up with that? I ain't mad at him, man. I'm really not. But at the same time, Brooklyn, y'all might have to call Brooklyn 911 or something, because this team is definitely going on a downswing in a hurry in the Eastern Conference. Man, it could also signal the time to break up this big three. Honestly, you bring in Kyrie, you bring in James Harden, you bring in Kevin Durant, you have all the aspirations in the world that you're going to win the title. But this team keep free falling the way they are. This is going to be a big time disappointment. And general manager Sean Marks is going to have some real deep decision making to do in regards to how this team is going to formulate moving forward. I mean, the injury to Joe Harris plays a big time impact as well, because that's another shooter that Brooklyn's missing right now. But the play of these young guys like Cameron Thomas, the Duke kid as well, they've been getting time, they've been getting run. So that's actually helped the team as well, seeing these young guys play and maneuver on the floor. But Brooklyn, 9-game losing streak, just got walloped by the Celtics, who are actually on the up and up now after really struggling to begin the season. After the new year, Celtics have been balling. They've been hooping. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have really put in some work, and they must have had some serious New Year's resolutions on where Boston is going to go moving forward, because this team has been putting in that work and getting in the win column a lot for Coach Ime Udoka. But for the Brooklyn Nets, is it time to cut the nets? Is it time to cut the cord on this big three of Harden, Durant, and Irving? Is he going to find a way to Philly? We're going to have to see. Thursday's right around the corner. Are they going to pull the trigger on the Ben Simmons, James Harden trade? Leave your comments in the show notes and let me know what you think. Is James Harden finding his way to Philly? Is Ben Simmons finding his way to Brooklyn? We're going to see. Leave your comments in the show notes, and we'll be sure to answer those questions on next week's show as well. Before we get up out of here for the opening tip, man, I don't want to laugh at the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cleveland Cavaliers are not a team to be messed with right now, okay? Big time shout out to JB Bickerstaff, because my man has got this team locked in, and this team is really hooping right now for Cleveland, okay? Darius Garland, first-time All-Star, 19 points per game, almost 20 points per game, three rebounds per contest, and 8 assists for the young guard of the Cleveland Cavaliers. You got Jared Allen bullying folks, the fro, pulling his whole Afro Thunder power, going off 16 points per game, 11 rebounds, 1.5 blocks a contest. And you got perennial Rookie of the Year candidate in Evan Mobley, 14, almost 15 numbers a game, 8 rebounds, almost 2.5 assists, and almost 2 blocks per game. This Cleveland team is long, lengthy, springy, getting after it on the defensive end. It was a good, man, they made a great trade bringing in Caris LeVert because this team struggles to score offensively. They have moments in time and lapses within a lot of games where they're struggling to find offense other than Darius Garland. Bringing in a guy like Caris LeVert, who is a walking bucket from Indiana in a trade with Ricky Rubio, who's on an expiring deal. Big time pickup for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now you got a lineup of Garland, LeVert, Okoro, who we didn't talk about as well, who probably has the dunk of the year candidate with 3 bodies, dunking on 3 bodies of the Houston Rockets probably a month and a half ago with that big time dunk on them. Then you got Mobley and Jared Allen. Yo, this team has the length, the athleticism. They have the defensive mindset and prowess that JB Bickerstaff has instilled into this young team. They are big all across the board with their wings, their forwards, and their centers. This team is a team not to be messed with in the Eastern Conference right now, sitting at 4th place. They're averaging 106.5 points per game, which is 23rd. That's why they brought in LeVert to help them with the scoring. They're 10th in rebounding. They're 7th in assists per game. They move the basketball, and they're first in opponents' points per game right now at 102 points per contest, overtaking the Golden State Warriors, who had pretty much sealed every defensive category to begin the season. Cleveland rocking right now. Yo, don't sleep on them. Do not sleep on the Cleveland Cavaliers because you will find your way up out of the playoffs if you mess around and play around with what they're able to do in the playoffs. This is a playoff team. This is a perennial playoff team in Cleveland. JB Bickerstaff, you deserve a whole lot of love, my man, for possibly being coach of the year with how you've been able to get this young team to buy in early and often. And Cleveland, they rocking. Don't laugh at the Cleveland Cavaliers right now. The Cleveland Cavaliers are serious contenders in the Eastern Conference. Do they have an opportunity to get to the Eastern Conference Finals? Yo, let me know what's up. Let me know what your thoughts are in regards to that. Are the Cleveland Cavaliers, and can they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals with this group? Leave your comments in the show notes, and I'll be sure to get back to you in regards to that question on next week's show. Yo, we're going to take a quick timeout, y'all. When we come back, we got the trivia question of the day, and then we go right into moving the chains. Y'all already know the deal. Y'all make sure y'all come on back with your chill brother from another. All right, y'all know what time it is. It's time for the Champions Lounge, baby. What's going on, my good people? Welcome back inside the Champions Lounge with yours truly, Mr. All About My Biz, still out here handling my biz so I can take care of my future kids. It's the Champions Lounge, baby, all right? Listen, I need you guys to go to Spotify, Anchor, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and the YouTube channel is the Champions Lounge. We're going to have up for you where we'll have exclusive content each and every solitary week. Also, follow us on IG as well at _champions_lounge. Well, listen, every single week, we're going to make sure we get you covered around the NBA and around the NFL. And listen, we're going to make sure we give you that barbershop talk, but make sure you leave with that Champions walk, baby. All right? Listen, make sure you like, comment, and share. Share it with your mama, your grandmama, your auntie, your uncle, everybody. Make sure you share the product that is the Champions Lounge, all right? Listen, it's that time of the show where you can't go forward without paying homage to your past. And with all that being said, it's time for the trivia question of the day. So we got the trivia question of the day, and like I was talking about earlier, it's Black History Month. So we got to shed some love and share some love to all those that pioneered and trailblazed the way for us as African Americans here in America. So the trivia question of the day is this: who was the first Black sports anchor? Who was the first ever Black sports anchor? Right? Y'all go ahead, sit, ponder, and marinate on that, and we'll be sure to give you the trivia question of the day answer before we get into my favorite part of the show. We'll stop playing. All right? So listen, man. It's that time of the show where it's time for us to go down the sideline, grab the deep ball as we put a bow and tie on the end of another NFL season. But before we get into that, it's time for you to move the chains, baby. All right, family. So it's time for you to move the chains, man. We're going to go around the NFL. We're going to get things popping around the NFL right now. And, Tom Brady finally hangs up the cleats. And, Adam Schefter made sure he kept the receipts as well, because some people were trying to come at his neck in regards to whether or not Tom Brady was really going to retire or not. But Tom Brady finally hangs it up at the age of 44, 7 Super Bowl rings, 20 years with New England, 2 years with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, I got a whole lot to say in regards to Tom Brady. I got my whole thing about, the Flake Gate, Spy Gate, etc. But you can't take away from the greatness that was Tom Brady. I mean, 6th-round pick out of Michigan. My man was bony as I don't know what. I mean, he was like the piece of chicken that you get at the end that nobody really wants. But if you're still hungry, you'll eat that chicken. That's how he came into the league. Real talk. I mean, barely. I mean, no muscle at all whatsoever when you look at his pictures from the combine. And, to see what he was able to do, how he was able to build himself into being the greatest quarterback of all time. I mean, nobody's ever going to really touch 7 Super Bowl rings. 7 Super Bowl rings. That's greatness personified. And, there's still an opportunity, and there's still rumblings that my man could really come back. After the age of 44. That's never happened in NFL history, by the way. But when you think about the accolades, you think about the accomplishments of Tom Brady and what he was able to bring to the game of football, can't deny what he was able to do and the greatness that he personified within his career as an NFL quarterback. He's going to go down. He's going to go to Canton. He's going to get his whole statue. He's going to get the gold jacket, etc. But, I mean, if this man comes back and plays after retiring, he pulls a Jordan, I would be like, yo, Roger Goodell, you better not let this old man come back into the NFL, because if he breaks something, or if he's like a body on the ground or something, Gisele's gonna call you behind and be like, yo, why in the world would you let my husband put himself out there again in that particular harm's way? Yo, Roger Goodell, don't do it. Do not do it. Okay? Seriously. Don't put yourself in that situation to have Gisele about to come and cut your neck off, or whatever else that Europeans do in regards to, their family and different things like that. She'll get the mafia out on you. Don't do that. Don't do it to yourself. Okay? All right? But listen, even still, Tom Brady, his greatness and what he was able to bring to the game of football will not be denied. And it's probably something that we will never forget, and what he was able to do for the game of football. Tom Brady, congrats on a wonderful career, and please don't come back. Just stay out. You're 44. You did everything. What more do you got to do? What more do you have to do? Stay home with your family. Enjoy your time. Be Drew Brees. Go in a booth or something. Be Tony Romo. Go in the booth. Enjoy life after football, man. All right. Tom Brady, greatest quarterback of all time or greatest player of all time? That is the question. Leave your comments in the show notes. Let me know what you think about that. Greatest quarterback of all time or greatest player of all time? All right. Let's shift gears to the NFL. We got some not so great news around the NFL right now. We got the Brian Flores situation circulating, as he has sued the NFL for wrongful termination from the Miami Dolphins. Now, a lot of things have come out and transpired within the last couple of weeks in regards to Brian Flores putting out there like, hey, the owner of the Miami Dolphins, he's pretty much trying to pay me to lose. He was paying me to lose. Now, Miami started the season 1-7. A lot of things were going wrong. Looked like Brian Flores was going to get fired then. The team ends up rattling 8 of their last 9. They finished the season 9-8. You're thinking that, okay, they turned the corner. They got some things together. And Miami drops Brian Flores like he didn't do nothing for him. Like, it completely just out of left field. Yeah, you fired. Now, the whole situation now with the different text messages from Bill Belichick and different things in regards to the Denver Broncos and John Elway, we already know that the NFL is a little bit messy. You got to know somebody that knows somebody else. But in regards to the whole Rooney rules and diversity in the NFL workplace, we just seen it this all season, right? One African-American coach was hired, and Lovie Smith being hired by the Houston Texans after being a defensive coordinator. So the Houston Texans get rid of one old black guy. No disrespect to David Culley. That was still some messed up stuff that Houston did by letting you go after putting on and giving you the roster that you had and expecting you to be successful. That was no. Lovie Smith, respected head coach, got the Chicago Bears to the Super Bowl. Respected highly. But again, one African-American coach hired this all season. Case in point, and why Brian Flores is suing the NFL now. Like, there's no place for diversity, head coach-wise, for African-Americans in the NFL. It's just not. But as I was having the conversation with my father about, the whole Brian Flores situation, he was like, son, this whole situation with Brian Flores could make it harder for African-Americans to become head coaches in the NFL. Because it puts owners in a position where if the team is not successful, that if they fire the black coach, then they're considered to be racist or biased. And I was like, you know what? I didn't really think about it like that, Pop. I really wasn't considering all of that in that way. But it makes sense. The Brian Flores situation is shedding light on what the NFL does on a daily basis. And, defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, that's cool. You can have that role. But head coach role, I'm not really sure if we want to have a black head coach in that particular prominent position. Now you got Mike Tomlin, you got Robert Sale with the New York Jets, and now you got Lovie Smith with the Houston Texans. That's 3 black head coaches in a 30-team NFL league, right? I'm sorry, 32-team NFL league, right? Still, overall, I'm just like, this Brian Flores situation, as crazy and as grimy as it seems, and it is, it makes it feel even more like people of different ethnic backgrounds only have a certain ceiling within the NFL hierarchy. It's only you can go this high compared to counterparts. And I'm not getting to a whole black and white thing. It has to be the best qualified candidate. The best qualified candidate, period. That's the premise, and that's, how different things are supposed to go within the hiring process. The best qualified candidate, right? However, you can't tell me that some of these different coordinators, like a Ty Bowles, like a Leslie Frazier, if you will, even linebacker coach for the San Francisco 49ers, played with the Houston Texans. Can't remember his name right now. It's failing me right now. But, even guys like that, Eric Bieniemy, another coach, probably could have had an opportunity with the New Orleans Saints. They decided to go with defensive coordinator Dennis Allen to, take over for Sean Payton leaving and deciding to get on up out of NOLA. So it saddens me that it comes down to the fact that we have to do different things like that as African Americans in order to get positions that we really want, high-end positions like a coach, or in this particular case in the NFL, you barely see African Americans at the head coach position. In the NBA, you kind of see it a little bit more, but in the NFL, when is there going to become a day where it's more diversity in the coaching ranks? No disrespect to Ron Rivera in Washington, with the Washington Commanders now. They're no longer the Washington football team. Thank the Lord. Y'all came up with a name. The Commanders, I don't know how that's going to work, but that's neither here nor there. The Brian Flores situation is messy. It's totally unpredictable, and we're going to have to see what happens, because it might be one of those blacklist things for Brian Flores moving forward, where the NFL decides to pay him off, and he's just like Colin Kaepernick, who can't get back in the NFL after deciding to sue the NFL, bring some different text messages, other different hidden information out. It might be turned into that, but it could come back to bite him in the butt in regards to what it does for other future African-American head coaches and prospective African-American head coaches in the NFL. We'll see where it goes. We'll see what happens and how it transpires moving forward, all right, in regards to that. Was Brian Flores wrongfully terminated from the Miami Dolphins? And where does the NFL really need to get it together in regards to diversity in the head coaching ranks? Leave your comments in the show notes, and we'll be sure to discuss more of that going into next week's show. We're going to close things out in regards to moving the chains. We got Super Bowl Sunday, and we got Super Bowl Sunday on my birthday. And I mean, for me, that's a beautiful thing, baby. You got the Cincinnati Bengals, you got the Los Angeles Rams, you got a Super Bowl that nobody really saw coming at all. I mean, a lot of us had, myself included, Kansas City taking on the Rams. You got Odell Beckham Jr. and Matthew Stafford getting into the Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford, 13 years, had to wait a long time to get to the Super Bowl. For Joe Burrow, the quickest number 1 overall draft pick to get to the Super Bowl. Yo, it was crazy when one of the Cincinnati Bengals players came out and said after they won the AFC North, we don't care about the AFC North. We trying to get to the Super Bowl. Why not us? Why not us get to the Super Bowl? And sure enough, the Cincinnati Bengals, after coming back from 18 down to the Kansas City Chiefs, made that a reality. Wonderful display of grit and determination from a team that showed it all throughout the season under Zach Taylor. Joe Burrow came up big time in the second half. The defense made plays on Patrick Mahomes. This team really wanted it. They showed that they wanted it, and now they're on the way to the Super Bowl. For the Los Angeles Rams, they get to play at home. Their home stadium, the Super Bowl. They went all in, going after Von Miller. You bring in Odell Beckham Jr. You already have Aaron Donald, one of the most disruptive defensive tackles in NFL history. You got Jalen Ramsey. You did all this to get to the big game. You're at the big game now. We're going to see what happens on Sunday between the Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals. Who you got? You got who they, or you got the Los Angeles Rams reigning supreme in front of their home fans? I'm going to go trying to figure out. I think I'm going to lean towards the Rams. I'm going to lean towards the Rams. The Bengals get into the Super Bowl for the first time since '88. I think they come up a little bit short. I think the Rams win by 6. I got 30-24. The Rams get it done, and they win the Super Bowl in L.A. What say you? You got the Bengals, you got the Rams. Leave your comments in the show notes, and we'll be sure to cover those questions and cover those responses going into next week's show as well. Listen, y'all, we're going to take a quick timeout. We're going to take care of some bills. On the other side, we got my favorite part of the show with Stop Playing. So make sure y'all stop playing and y'all come back on the other side. It's more what you came here for right here on the Champions Lounge.